Welcome to a beautiful, slightly windy, but lovely morning light Djuma Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands of South Africa. It's me, Trishala. I've got Gert on camera, and we're very happy to have you on board this morning. And we're quite happy to start off with this really tight herd of impala who have been staring at us. And we're hoping that they will give us a clue as to what else is going on in the bush this morning. If this is the first time that you're joining us, thank you and welcome. This is a live and interactive experience, so you can head over to our website and register to ask questions and send us your comments. And as you know, it's our mission here at Wilder to help connect people with nature, which I think is a really important mission. So if you'd like to help us with it, please head over to our website and click the donate button. Things this morning at camp have been quite quiet. Last night, Maribs escorted me right to camp, and there were even tracks in camp. And I must say that I actually saw him close up for the first time since his growth, and he's quite a big leopard. And I suspect that he's still hanging out in this area. A little friend, and I'm so excited about it. So I saw this chameleon yesterday on our way back from camp, on our way back towards camp from Maribs, and he was obviously escorting me, so I had to take it really slow because I was behind him. And then I saw this chameleon on the way, so it was like a double wonderful whammy of a leopard and a chameleon, and I thought this morning I'm going to come and check him out. And it took a bit of practice, a bit of moving around and looking really, really carefully for him. But eventually we did find him. So I'm very, very happy because I've told you many times that I love to see a daytime chameleon. That's the best chameleon because then we can actually see its colors as opposed to just seeing it in black and white. When this chameleon would see a snake during the day, when it can react strongly, what it would do, firstly, is try to not be seen. So we see that slow walk of the chameleon and the swaying. That's all to try and mimic its environment, to make it blend in. Oh! Whoa! You all saw that, right? That is amazing! Oh. I was obviously looking here because I'm used to, talking to you like this and just looking back, even though Gert's not on me. And I just heard, woof. Caught yourself a grasshopper. That's one of its favorite foods, orthopteran, so grasshoppers, crickets. They love it. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I got totally distracted. Totally distracted. But anyway, because now we got to talk about the tongue. But to wrap the last question up, it would try to blend in with its environment. If the snake still manages to see it, because remember, many snakes will have heat-sensitive pits that will allow it to detect infrared, so it might still see the chameleon and go for it. If it's close, the chameleon will start to hiss, puff itself up, and that's its major defense once it's actually been noticed and seen.
I don't know what's going on today, but the elephant energy is magnificent. We've got elephants swimming in Djuma. Elephants swimming in Djuma. Let's just position in a nicer light over here. There we go. Yay! Elephant medicine. Lungs are attached to their spinal cord. There's You see how the back pops up like that in the water. Makes him very buoyant. They must love being weightless like this. There's 3 boys. When you spend time with elephants like this, you can clearly see that they are loving it. Wren elephant pool party. Yay, indeed. Well, you can tell that there's obviously a practical purpose for cooling down. But you know, buffalo will do that, warthog will do it, but they never show enjoyment in doing so. As elephants physically play, sentient beings, everybody, there's actually enjoyment in their actions. It's not just a practical purpose. And they bond. Under he goes. See, the back is always up. Laura Cam, how awesome indeed, Djuma pool party. This is probably the 5th or 6th time on Djuma I've seen elephants swimming. We had Buffelshoek watering hole, and in comes the 3rd. He's been in already, but he can't help it anymore. Everyone's having a party. He wants in. South Auckland, what a special way to kick off the weekend. Friday fun.
Shame, I can only imagine these poor meerkats must be freezing when they come out the mound, and they must be a little bit hungry because they're long past their normal time when they would go foraging, and they are just waiting for that gap, and they're going to take that gap. But I remember in the Kalahari when we used to watch the meerkats out there. Some winters out there were terribly cold, and the meerkats would sleep in the mound all day, and they would skip a day of feeding, which ultimately does catch up to them because they do start getting a little bit skinny and desperate, and then they'll be forced to come out at some point. So what they do try and do is try and take those gaps where they can, because if they do start getting hungry and conditions are really cold outside and they've left it for last minute, then they are forced to go out there in that bitter cold and to try and get something to eat. So they're actually quite proactive at just waiting for those gaps. Look at that, shame. They don't even want to come fully out yet, just the head sticks out and the nose.
Thank you for joining us. We have Dagger boys here. Might be 1 or 2. Look like they're lying down at the moment. We were trying to get the rest of the herd. It looks like they're still in the area where last night they were, the tracks were headed into the block. Maybe on that area it's quite a lot of water that they can really able to drink and move in that particular area. If you look at the area where they are, this is a buffalo grass. Buffalo like it the most. They can be here for the whole week before even changing to another area. The lions have come into the area. It looked like the buffalo are stronger. They've defeated the lions, and the lions decided to move out of the conservancy and head across to Mjejan. So it's one of the things that it really tells us the buffalo look like they've overpowered the pride of lions of 7. they've been able to hunt and be successful. So we believe that the buffalo will still hang around in the area with all these dagger boys or males that are, are here at the moment. Those are the soldiers of the head that are able to defend, are very much experienced. Although here there's no breeding head, there might be still down into other side, which we would like to follow up on that. We have seen yesterday on the tracks there were leopards that also following this buffalo. Never know, the same leopard that were vocalizing maybe might go back into that area to check if he might get to able to hunt all these young buffalo, most especially in the course of a day like this. Buffalo, course of a light like this in the morning, buffalo lying down, there's chances of lions and leopard, most especially with the female that have youngster that isolated themselves amongst the herd, that becomes more vulnerable from the lions and the leopard sometimes. We'll try to head on that direction from this angle.
These oxpeckers, they always remind me of the penguins from Madagascar. They feel like they have some ulterior motive or something's going on behind the scenes. They've got some secret plan and they're just smiling and waving at us. And I guess considering that essentially all they're after is blood, and when we think about birds, we don't really think of birds as blood eaters, but they are. The only reason they take the ticks and other pests is because they want the blood inside of them. But you've heard this many, many times. They also keep wounds open. I've even watched a documentary where they've cut open people's skin to get blood. So yes, vampire birds. But I think it's a good way to end off our drive today. It's nice to see them on a branch, socializing with each other as opposed to socializing with all the large mammals around this area. But it's time to say goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for your time, your questions, and your comments. We'll see you again this afternoon. Bye for now.